Hey you guys, how you doing today? So today is a cute topic that I wanted to talk about a couple people who wanted to take part of my life and make it their own. Called my personal copycats. These people are not in my life anymore. I made sure they stayed out. but they tried to take me for granted several times in my life, and I fell for it several times, and but I finally saw the light and got out. So this first one pretty much been following me most of my life. Both of them kind of have actually. So this first one, she I I was told, she came up to me and she said that we went to school in high school. We were together in high school, and to this day I still don't remember. I think it was a lie. I still think it's a lie because I still could not place me being next to her in high school because I was a person who hang, hanged out with white people and not black people, because the black people in my high school always talked about me. So I never so when she said that she hung out with me, I didn't understand, but she was trying to get with my cousin at the time. So I was like, okay, whatever, how are you doing? And I guess we started that so called friendship at that point. I was married at the time to my first husband. Um, After the marriage ended, I started hanging out with her more and helping her out with different things. And when my mom died in 22, she she comes to my house. So I was inherited my house, and my mom hadn't wasn't a type that had things completely up to date. So I was trying to make sure the house got cleaned out the best way I know how. And in that process, there were a lot of things that was there that I didn't know about because I didn't see my mom until I spent the last few months with her before she passed. Um, yeah, after all my brought up and everything, I still completely love my mom to the death, to the point of I wore her hat for 2 years on my head to recognize her being in my life. Even though she might not have always been a good mom, I still loved her no matter what. And I wanted to recognize that no matter what, I forgave her for everything that had happened in the past and everything before she passed, and she knew about it. So, um, I was happy that when she did end up passing, um, I was okay, to the point of I didn't feel guilty that I never told her that I forgave her, and that was a good blessing to me. So, anyways, so I'm in my house trying to clean it out, and at the time, this person that I was so-called friends with, um, she didn't have a place to stay, but she didn't want to. I asked her, "Oh, well, come stay with me." And, I'm by myself. I'm it's a 4 bedroom house, paid off, whatever. I had to clean it out, but it's a 4 bedroom house that she could find a place to live in. Well, she didn't like that, because at the time the house had rats, roaches, all the cool stuff that you get when you get to clean up. And she started talking about how nasty my house was, and how she just couldn't live there. So my crazy behind started helping her living in different hotels, spending the money that I had and earned and what I was working for to help her out on the side, because she so called claimed that that's where she had to be. So I wish you would have think I would have learned by this time, because this is 2022 at this point. Well, anyways, it got to the point where I'm sending her so much money helping her out that it was started reflecting on me, and I didn't like that, and I ended up spending over $1,400 so she could go from hotel to hotel to hotel to hotel. Um, and I'm thinking she's my best friend at the time, so this is what I had to do, to be a friend. Another thing that I just found out that wasn't the truth later. But that being said, she was able to get a place and stay there for a while. And then she got to the point to where she didn't have the place anymore and she started living in the wild. Okay. And when she started living in the wild, she started coming back over my place. Now, by this time, my place had been cleaned up, because I was taking big trash out every month. I was doing a whole bit, putting the dumpster out there, getting the trash, Goodwill, everything you could think of to get the house cleaned out. Oh, excuse me. Well, anyways, when it gets almost clean, she comes back over and, she wants to just live in the living room, of course. And I didn't want her to live there because she had already talked about me. It's like she'd get with me, she'd talk nice to me, and she'd get up to me, and then it'd be like, "Oh, you start talking low to me, like I'm a piece of behind." And I hated that. I didn't like her hanging around me for that fact that she only once she got what she wanted, all of a sudden, oh, now it's to talk down on me. Now it's to talk to me about negative stuff, and I didn't like that. And but at the time, I felt she was one of my only friends. So, what do you do? She's the one I have to help because even though she's like a year or two younger than me, I have to help her. Not. Well, it got to the point to where she asked me, begged me to get her a phone on my account. And I said no, 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 no. To the point of after her asking me and asking for days and weeks, I finally said, okay, fine, I'll help you get a phone. I had a Verizon account at the time and I got her a promotional phone where it was like an iPhone 14 Pro at the time. And she gets the phone. A week later, she started talking down on me once again, hollering in my face, all this. I don't have to talk to you. I don't have to do this. Okay, I turned the line off. So I turned the line off. What'd she do? She puts the new phone that we just got a week ago inside a kiosk to get money back where the phone wasn't even paid for. The phone and the service is now on my account, or was on my account at the time I had that. Paying an extra bill that I just cut it off for her to apologize for me, and she never did. She just, oh, I teach her. I just wreck up her line. I wreck up her phone line, and she did. Um, and then she left again, and I blocked her, blocked her, blocked her, blocked her, and she started calling me on different phone lines, different phone lines, different phone lines, different phone. Finally, I pick up a phone line. She comes back over, and she's getting kicked out of another person's place, and she tried to play it like it wasn't at first, but then come to find out later that that's what was actually happening. She knew she was about to leave another person's place, because she's been going from couch to couch to couch at the time. And I when she got in my place, she didn't want to leave, and I'm like, no, you're gonna have to leave. I don't want you here. Well, blah 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 blah, and she went and videotaped me kicking, not her kicking me, but it was like on the tape, self-defense, because I'm trying to get the phone for a reason. I wasn't trying to. It was something about her doing something with the phone, and then she videotaped that part like I was trying to steal the phone when I wasn't. And then she showed the police that because she called the police. So the police come over and they're like, well, you guys don't touch each other anymore, blah, 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 blah. I said, okay. But they're like, what you should do is do a eviction warrant. I said, she's only been here like less than a week. They're like, well, you still got to do eviction, blah, 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 blah. So she was like, I guess, doing squatter wilds. Anyway, she decided to In the middle of the night, the police was like, "Don't touch her anymore." And I said, "Okay, I ain't touching her." So I went in my room, took the cats in there that I had at the time, and went to sleep. And she's hollering and screaming. I could hear her screaming in the other part of the house. And she comes up to me. She said, I'm gonna take your life. I'm gonna take your house, your car, your job, your everything." I said, "Okay, we'll see." And the next morning, she's like, "I found a way to get you out of here." I said, "What are you talking about?" In the meantime, I go to the courthouse, try to get this stuff to evict her, to put it on the door and everything. And then I went and called the police back to find out what do I do next. Well, come to find out, this person of mine's decided to take a picture during the time that she was trying to figure out how to get me out of the way, because it was my house, but she was trying to get me out of the way so she could take the house, whatever her delusional thought was. um she went and had a pole that she had and started beating her stomach with it to the point to where it had bruised, and then she took pictures of it and then called the police and said I did it. Well, why was it just pictures and not a video? The first one was a video. You couldn't get me on a video the second time? You got to take pictures? How does that make sense? Anyways, I called the police back. I got down the street, called the police, and let them know, "Hey, I just did this eviction thing. What do I do next? What do I wait for?" And since she had called the police already, they're trying to find me. So I told them where I was, thinking something else. They coming around trying to handcuff me and take me to jail for no reason. And I tried to explain to the police, what was it, with a video or is the pictures? Because the video she did last night when the police was called. No, these were pictures. Well, how in the world do you think I did it? And you don't see me there, you don't see nothing, but you see pictures. Oh, she just took pictures of her bruises. Really? Really? Okay, whatever. So they handcuffed me and took me down to the county and was charged for assault and battery, assault and battery with a weapon, and was in the county for 10 days. And the 10th day, they actually released me. The second or third day I was there, they said I was charged with this, but it was it like 10,000 or something bail. But when I left, they charged me with nothing. They just let me go on the 10th day. I guess they decided not to file it, which so happened. So when I got home finally, because no family wanted to talk to me, nobody wanted to talk to me when I was in jail trying to get in touch with somebody, and nobody wanted to talk to me other than my cousin, but and my friend at the time. But at that particular time, I had just started working somewhere, and you only had 10 days to miss. Oh, yeah, and my car was impounded. She never was able to receive my pounded car. But she had my house. But not for long. Because during the time I was inside, I went missing. She's telling people, "Oh, I don't know where she's at. I don't know where she could be at." But she was talking to the cousin that I told you about. And he's like, "Well, I'm going to come pick you up because you don't need to be in our house." So... So what she did, she went and robbed my house, took everything she could, pawn or whatever. And when he came and got her, he went and got her. But she was only in there for 2 days. So she didn't get my house. She did help me lose my job at the time, though. And she also, I had to pay $400 some to get my car out of pound. But she didn't get it. She didn't get my car. So she couldn't get my house. She couldn't get my car. She did get my job. She succeeded at that. But here I am, still here. So that was her. Never talked to her again. And that was in 2023. So this other person, I had met him 3 months after I got pregnant with my son. Him and I was off and on. And around 22, I had just gotten this job to where I was traveling the United States. And he had just gotten a license to where he could work there. So me, stupid, I was like, oh yeah, we're just friends, blah, blah, blah. I'll put him on as a reference. Yeah, what did I do that for? Just to get what I deserve, right? Because I deserve getting messed up because of the fact that I was gullible enough to refer him to my job that I was doing well at. Because I thought, why not help bring somebody in that could bring him up just like me? That's what I thought. No, 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 no. He didn't. He had other plans. We weren't together. We were working in separate parts of the United States for about 6 months until about the next year. And when we got together, finally, he started acting crazy around me. So I told the company about it. And he started going behind my back, telling them how I'm this, that, this, and that, smearing my name just like my ex-husband did. And got me fired from my job. And that was in 23 as well. So you could see how both people, it seemed like they were trying to work against me in the same year. Yeah. But that's what I call copycats, and my personal copycats, because one of them, which was my so-called friend, wanted to be in my skin. It seemed like they wanted my life because they were like, oh, you always got blessings here and there. I work hard for what I get. It was never easy for what I received in life. But everybody always thinks it's easy because the way you look, you do it so easy, when that's not the truth at all. I have to work really hard for what I get to. And there are places and jobs that I've gotten on because of the fact they understand how hard I worked in life. That is the only reason, other than them and God blessing me, because I do God's work too, all at the same time. That is the reason why good things happen to me. And I really am a kind person. I just don't care for the BS. I don't. The fakeness? Oh my goodness. So when somebody comes up to me and they tell me, they want to date me or whatever, and they say, oh, I like being around you, but I still want to play the field too. I'm like, okay, that's great. It's not enough for me. Bye. So, well, when you decide you don't want to play the field anymore and you choose me, we'll see. That's only if I'm not around anyone else at that time who would have been better now than the way you have treated me. And that's what I told the last person I was with. He wanted to still play the field. Actually told me that the only thing he can offer me at the time was no strings attached messaging. After everything I've been through in life, he and you know what? I really do still love that guy to this day. Still love him. And still see a future with him for some reason. But anyways, now since you know about my personal copycats, you can like and share and subscribe at my video. And of course, these two little instances I told you today are also things I could talk about if you were to book a session with me off my website, loveistheonlyWayministry.com. You'll be able to book a session with me, and if you have a similar situation where there's a need for my advice to help you have more options to deal with to make the perfect decision and judgment which way you should go in your life, I am here to help, because I am here to uplift and not put down in any type of way. Because by me getting put down so many years in my life is now all for bringing uplifting optimism and to a world that is full with evil but doesn't have to be for long. So until next time, if you need anything about donated to the ministry or whatever, or the website again is all down in the description box. And I will talk to you next time. Bye.